systems go. Clear for liftoff.
What is going on, Chipman Nation YouTube station? Tuesday, 9 games. Coors Field did get rained out or postponed for inclement weather there, so we don't have no Coors Field to talk about. We got a lot of crap to talk about here, and hopefully we can mold it into to some money at the end of the night there. Pitching kind of sucks. Offense kind of sucks. No good weather really anywhere. Should be a pretty interesting game or slate to break down here. Got my main guy, Gyiraszin. Massive contest over on DraftKings and FanDuel. We love Tuesday baseball with nothing really else going on. Obviously, you got the NBA playoffs, NHL playoffs, but the main focus on Tuesdays is MLB, and we got it here to break it down. So our guy Philly Phantom in here, Ricky Rose, Scooter McGavin, Taco Todd, Warren Tyler, Adam, Avery. Appreciate y'all tuning in here and getting in nice and early. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Helps us out a ton. Gyiraszin, what's going on, brother? Happy Tuesday. Cinco de Mayo for all those fellas out there and people celebrating that. I'm heading to the old Mexican restaurant after lock with the old missus and going to get some margaritas, get some nice food. Got a couple beer, couple brewskis right now. I know you got the Corona rocking over there. We got good vibes rolling into to this slate breakdown. What's going on, man?
Man, we are on the same page when we come into the show here. Coming in hot, I come in working real good. I thought, man, I got to get me a beer before I go on the show. Shit, it's Cinco de Mayo. I talked to the wife. She says, hey, we got to go out to eat for some Mexican tonight, get some margaritas and have some Modelos and some Coronas. And I was like, all right, but I got to do the show first. She's like, yeah, okay, cool. So I come on, got me a Corona, and Nate says, I got to go get some Mexican after the show tonight. So we're on the same page, we're already on the same page. And then he says, this slate sucks, pitching sucks, weather sucks. We're pretty much on the same page, but if we have one of these tasty Mexican adult beverages on Cinco de Mayo, it helps the mood. And then you just say, fuck it. And then you just have a good time and, talk some baseball, have some fun. I mean, it was a pretty good week for me, Nades. I'd say it's one of the better weeks I've had in quite a while. I literally cashed every day in a row since I was on it's been from Monday to Monday, basically. It was 8 days. So every day I made money, and I only played basically 2 or 3 lineups. So, I mean, I'm not saying I took down like millions like Hoop does and, like Tambo and stuff, but, it was decent enough to, make, pay a little bit for the golf league this week. You go the first week, you get chunked off for 560 bones on the first tee day. You're like, fuck, man, it's a kick in the balls. But hey, thanks for DFS baseball. It was like, I got my pile money right here, Nate. You just chunk it off and just count it out. But yeah, a lot of fun. But I got to give you all some credit. Dude, when I'm not working on my slate and Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, I'm doing my shipping thing, you're diving in. There's some days you just are rolling in hot, and you got an hour before slate, right? But who else do I trust better than my man Nades, Ham? We got fucking fantasy tip Matt. There's no better freaking team that I already know. When I opened it up, I can check, dude, here's their favorite stacks. I kind of go from there. Kind of gives me a shortcut. I already know kind of like to do. I dump it in my opto and whammo bammo, I win. I was like, dude, I can't take all the credit. It's the whole team here. So even the days you can't lock in, it's really nice to have, people that are checking out, making sure you're getting some good information, giving you a little bit of strategy here and there. I mean, Nate, we got it going on here at Shipping. We've been hot recently. I mean, all our sports been crushing. It's been good times around here.
Yeah, it's been a really, really good week for baseball. We nailed the slate yesterday for the most part there. Yanks got the job done. Davis Martin, my boy, got the job done. I had like 60% Davis Martin, so I had a good night overall. But yeah, was a really fun slate. So we'll try and run it back here, right? It sounds like you have had one. No, that's just Gyiraszin. He loves talking baseball. We love to get on these shows and kind of put our heart and soul into these. We don't just get on here and look at it as a chore. This is fun, right? This is fun.
You have some excitement, Dave. You never know who could be watching you. Halle Berry could be watching me, and she might want a little bit of this. I mean, I don't have too big a man boobs. I do have the dad gut. But if Halle Berry wants a piece, just hit me up at Gyiraszin right there on the screen. I'm all yours.
Oh boy, what a start to Cinco de Mayo here. You got to have some fun. Yeah, that crazy enough, he just opened that before we went live, myself included here. So going to be a fun night of baseball on tap. We're going to go ahead and pull our partner Saberson up on the screen here. I did do a dry run, just kind of seeing what projections are spitting out here, Gyiraszin. In terms of pitchers, it's Ohtani, Tyon, Gavin Williams, Webb, DeGrom are really the only guys getting any sort of love in terms of the optos. Stacks, White Sox, Dodgers, Rangers, Pirates, D-backs. So that's kind of the broad slate overview. As you see, it's kind of a lot more spread out than typically what we see on projections, right? Like yesterday, obviously about 100% Cub stacks with the Wrigley win game. That didn't really come through there. So I like to just run it and see what we're seeing here. So about five offenses, five pitchers or so. That kind of sets up the slate, right? We talked about it at the top. Not really. It doesn't feel like a clear-cut cookie-cutter slate, which I do like for tournaments. I am prioritizing kind of MME large field tournaments tonight just because I think a lot of these teams could be it, and teams that we probably don't even like that much and have a ton of interest on it as we're breaking it down could be definitely the most optimal team for lineups and win the most amount of money tonight, just because that's the type of slate, right? Sure, Ohtani's a great play at pitcher, but he's 10-7 against Astros team there who hits the ball pretty well. You got DeGrom at 9,700 in Yankee Stadium there against the Yankees right now. Feels pretty wide open slate from pitching and offensive wise. So we'll do our best to break it down here. Throw it over to you. Pitching 8K and above. You got Peter Lambert, who has looked vastly or big time improved this year. Not probably the spot to play him against the Dodgers coming to town there. Bryce Elder, 8,500. Don't really like him much, especially with all those lefties in that Seattle lineup there where he does struggle. But the five guys at the top, Ohtani, DeGrom, Williams, Kirby, Logan Webb, I think all five of them are play. Ohtani's quote-unquote the chalk of the slate, if you will, but the rest of these guys are all going to get ownership anywhere from probably 20 to 30% ownership amongst them. And I don't think that's really any reason to take you off one guy or the other outside of that. So how do you see this top five for sure in kind of the spend up tier, I'll say? And then we'll break down below 8K after.
Yeah, I mean, we can start with Mr. Shohei. I don't know if this dude's like a cartoon character or what, the way he's been so far in his career, but I mean, the dude's just amazing. I mean, you just look at him so far this year, he's at a 43%, almost 44% K rate to righties. He's 23.3 to lefties, but I mean, he's got over 50% ground balls. On top of that, like he's get half the time they even hit it, it's more than half time. It's a ground ball. I mean, this dude's just amazing. So it's kind of hard to peel off Shohei on FanDuel. It's maybe a little easier on DK because of the salary. He's all the way up to 10-7 over here on DK. And, you got DeGrom 1,000 cheaper at 9,700. DeGrom is interesting to me. I think I would have to think about that one as more of a ownership type play. I think for me, like just kind of looking at these five, I think DeGrom, the people are just going to see that he's pitching against the Yankees. I think people may peel off him a little bit, but maybe the strikeouts aren't there like Ohtani has. But I mean, Yankees do have some strikeouts in that lineup, so I don't mind attacking the Yankees here. You just got to obviously avoid the power. Yankees obviously been hitting, their barrel rate's been good, but I mean, DeGrom's just one of them guys, right? Like I feel like he's a good enough pitcher to navigate through that Yankee lineup. So I don't mind DeGrom for like tournament plays. I would never like consider him a cash play or whatever else, but I mean, the upside's there. I mean, he could get 7-8 Ks. I could see him go 5-6 innings, 7-8 Ks. I could see that. Texas bullpen behind him hasn't been bad. So I think that's in play. Gavin Williams, I think, is really interesting. I mean, this dude's been at a 31% K rate. He's had, 9 Ks in a handful of starts. I mean, he's been pretty good. It's just, I think at his price, 93, and the chalky as he is, I mean, I don't mind picking on the Royals, but the Royals really don't have the strikeout matchups that I really want to see either for Gavin Williams. So if he's going to be a little bit more chalky, I think I'd avoid Gavin Williams, to tell you the truth. Just of these 5, I guess what you were talking about, the top 5. Kirby at home's been really good, but he's just not really a plus strike, matchup strikeout type pitcher. So, I mean, it gets an Atlanta team that, it's been really hot here. You got a game total sitting at 7.5. Kirby, K percentage is 21% to righties, 17% to lefties. I mean, Ozzy Albies must be seeing beach balls here recently, Nate. That dude's been smacking the shit out of the baseball. But Kirby at home, I think that to me is kind of like a high floor, not the highest ceiling type play, I guess. I mean, on this slate too, I don't think pitching's that good. After we get past these 5, it gets pretty ugly pretty quick. So I think these guys are in play. Logan Webb out there in the good pitchers park, I think would be one of my favorite guys too against San Diego out there at home. So, I mean, Ohtani to me is a guy I'd probably jam in. I think he'd be one to play. I think the pivot off Ohtani is DeGrom at the 1,000 cheaper. I don't think he'll probably be half owned as Ohtani, I would guess. And then after that, between Williams, Kirby, and Webb, I mean, I'd prefer Williams just as how hot he's come out. I just don't like the matchup against Kansas City. But, I mean, the other 2 guys are kind of late, little cheaper. I mean, I don't mind them. I just don't think it's the kind of slate we have. They're in a great spot. But overall, like when you always think about them, it's just like if there was many options, we'd glass right over these dudes. But there's just not the greatest options. I mean, I don't know. I don't think I would I think I would at least have one of Ohtani or DeGrom probably in my lineup tonight. I would venture to say, and I'd prefer Ohtani by a ton.
I'm with you for the most part. So I got Ohtani SP1 on the slate. It is a tough matchup. Houston doesn't have the 4th lowest strikeout rate against right-handed pitching there. So obviously, I mean, Ohtani's got the highest ceiling, in my opinion, on the slate. He should have run support behind him with that Houston bullpen behind the starter there. Obviously, we're going to talk about the Dodgers when we get to offense. So it's hard for me to poke holes in Ohtani outside of the ownership and the price point. DeGrom is an interesting pivot there. It's super hard for pitchers facing this Yankees offense to go super deep into the games because, number one, the power concerns that they have. Aaron Judge is just seeing beach balls right now. Obviously, just a phenom in there. I don't know if Ben Rice is back yet. I know he was injured. I don't think Ben Rice is going to be back. So if he's not back, that does help Jacob deGrom a little bit there. Yeah, no Ben Rice still in that lineup there. So you do have some guys with strikeouts in the back half, Ryan McMahon, Austin Wells, Jazz, but really that's it. I mean, 15% K rate at home in Yankee Stadium against right-handed pitching. That's pretty tough. So I get the reasoning. For me, that puts deGrom 5th when you include the salary. So I go Ohtani, Gavin Williams, 1, 2. Then I'm going to go Logan Webb. I love Logan Webb here. George Kirby 4, deGrom 5 is kind of how I have the top tier ranked, just because I like the matchup for Webb. I think he can go deep. It's a good ballpark there. I agree with what you said there about George Kirby. He does feel like a floor play, but on this slate where I don't think we're seeing massive ceilings here, I mean, shit, Ohtani might not. I mean, Ohtani could struggle here, right, against the Astros. deGrom can definitely struggle, right? Gavin Williams can definitely struggle. All these guys can struggle. So I'll take a guy pitching in Seattle all the time. Same thing, pitching out in San Fran. Logan Webb, good K prop. Outs props look good. So I like Logan Webb kind of third most behind Ohtani and Gavin Williams. But all things considered here, Gavin Williams is my favorite SP1 on this top tier. So we do differ there a little bit. Just 9,300. It's favorable pitching weather in Kansas City, which is going to be the theme of kind of the slate. Really, there's no good pitching weather or no good hitting weather really anywhere outside of that Angels game that we're going to talk about right when we get to offense. So that's kind of how I have the top tier. I'll go Gavin Williams, Ohtani, Logan Webb, Kirby, DeGrom is kind of how I rank those top 5. But I do think you can play a couple arms down below 8K. Jameson Taillon going to be one of the more popular plays on the slate. Complete 180 from yesterday, right? Wrigley win game yesterday. Now it's a Wrigley win game blown in. But it's nothing crazy. I mean, it's like 5-mile-an-hour winds blown in, gust up to 12, 15, which it definitely does affect it more than any other stadium, like I talk about all the time. And the temperatures. But, I mean, you look at this Reds lineup against right-handed pitching. They're just absolutely abysmal. Taillon should have some run support behind him. Cubs have been elite at home. So 7,600, it's hard to argue that price point. In terms of the value SP2, he's the guy. I wouldn't be shocked to see an Ohtani, Jameson Taillon cash game pairing kind of in a lot of rosters there if you can't get to two of those guys up top. So Taillon definitely makes the pool for me, but I am a little worried on some of his ownership there, but I get the reasoning. I get the matchup. I get that. Erod, I'm not really buying it. I like the Pirates offense there, so I'm not in on Erod. The other guy I think is interesting down here is Bubba Chandler, just a bet on talent. We see it with their other young arm over there in Pittsburgh. The issue with Chandler is he's been horrible against lefties, and Arizona's best hitters do hit from the left side there. So there is some issues there. But if you're looking for an unknown guy with upside and strikeout potential, Bubba Chandler, I think, fits the build there in tournaments. Outside of that, I mean, probably just going all the way down to Eric Fetty, where you're going to leverage some of that Angels ownership. And yeah, they could tag him for some runs, but all of these guys, none of them, I really expect them to have kind of a super clean outing overall. And Fetty does have the strikeout upside. He's not a strikeout arm, but he does have a plus matchup here for strikeouts with this Angels lineup. I mean, look at them at home on the year in terms of strikeouts, 28% K rate as a team. Yeah, I get it. Fetty's below average strikeout arm, but at 6,200, if he can grind you out 12 to 15 DraftKings points, that could be enough on this slate just with the strikeout there. So if I had to, I think just punting all the way down to him if you're looking for some salary savings, if you want to get off a guy like Jameson Taillon at the top. But it's really gross below 8K. I say all that to say it's pretty weak down here. And ideally, you're going to want to live in two of those top 5 arms on the slate here. But how do you see the lower tier?
Yeah, the lower tier is definitely ugly, make you want to throw up in your mouth a little bit. But I saw somebody in the chat asked about Bryce Elder. I think Elder's okay. I wouldn't necessarily scratch him off per se on a slate like this. I just don't like him generally against the lefties. He struggled a little bit against some lefties, and we know Seattle with Crawford, the big dumper, Naylor, Canzone, Rayleigh Young. They're going to bring a bunch of lefties at Elder at this point. He's walking 11.5%, K percentage down below the 22. So Elder does concern me a little bit. So that's why I didn't really bring him up a little bit earlier. But, down below, I think Taillon, I mean, I've heard kind of multiple reports with the wind and shit over there in Wrigley. If the wind's blowing in the face, and I mean, Taillon's more of a fly ball pitcher, kind of seems in last recent years. I mean, he gets some Ks here and there, probably when he gets that funky stuff on his wrist, Nades, they get that pine tar on there, get a little grip on their fingers, because the dude's up and down all the time. But I mean, he's got, fly ball ability. I mean, if the winds, if it's shitty hitting conditions, then yeah, I'd feel a little bit more comfortable with Taillon to pair him with Ohtani. And it would be strictly on the weather, more than less. That's pretty much where I'm at. I mean, I don't really even like picking on the Cubs. I mean, the last 15 days, the Cubs have the second highest OPS in all of baseball. Like, no, man, I'm not interested. So if you're telling me that's chalk, I just leave Taillon alone. If you don't like Taillon, I think I actually would, it really depends on that weather too. I didn't really lock it in and see what it was, but if it's just kind of a neutral setting, then I would leave Taillon alone, to be truthful. It would have to be like 15, 12 mile an hour winds blowing in for me to probably really like Taillon. But I mean, you look down, we got 2 Erods today. We got Elmer Erod and Eduardo Rodriguez over there for against Pittsburgh. I would rather, if you're going to go against Pittsburgh, I'd rather have you, have a lefty. I mean, Erod, I mean, we're talking garbage, right? So, I mean, but still, I think Erod could be in play, could get you the points you need down here. So I don't mind Erod against the Pirates team. And Sproat, too. I think Sproat's got some potential here. And, I mean, this kid's going to be decent as he gets a little bit older here. He just hasn't really got to that level yet. But, I mean, I don't mind picking on St. Louis either. I really don't think that they're all that good. And then that same game with the Cubs, I mean, Abbott, we know he has some strikeout capability. The dude just been walking so many guys lately. It's been like the merry-go-round going around the bases. The dude's just been terrible with his control. So, I mean, he's got some strikeout capability there too. But really down below, like you said, I mean, it's ugly. I think Tyon is definitely in play. But in my opinion, man, I think you can build lineups today. It's not like there's, heavy price lineups you got to lock yourself into today. I think you should kind of concentrate a little bit more on your pitching today and make sure that, there's 4 or 5 guys up here, 6 guys, you could probably even say that, are in line for a decent game today. I think there's just too much to avoid. And I mean, Ohtani's just been so good, man. Like they do have 4 strikeout bats in that Houston lineup that I think Ohtani could get to. So, I mean, for me, I think I'd live up in the top tier, the Ohtani, Gavin Williams, maybe Ohtani, Webb kind of pairing, something like that. If you want to get off Ohtani, I really do not mind DeGrom. I think I like DeGrom better than probably most people do. But, I mean, DeGrom's just that kind of pitcher, right? He's going to come up for the Yankees, man. Like the Yankees are a team, everybody. You look across Yankees, Dodgers, man, you're giving it your all. It's not like facing the Tigers. Like nobody gives a shit, like that's still the Yankees. So, I could see DeGrom going out with having a good game today, but Nades for me, I'm living in that top 5 today. I'm not even fooling with it. On FanDuel, I'm going with pretty much going to lock in Ohtani probably on all of them, and maybe get to a Webb or a Kirby but I probably won't. I'll probably just lock in Ohtani.
Yeah, so I agree with a lot of what you said there. For me, I don't really see much interest in Sprout or Palante. That is the one game with weather concerns there, so I just don't think you need to take a risk there. The top half of that Cardinals lineup's been really, really good too. Weatherholt's a complete stud. Burleson's been hitting. Jordan Walker's been mashing. Herrera's a really underrated hitter as well there. So I can't do it. I do think Brandon Sproat's going to be good. He's in a really good organization for developing pitching. Obviously, the Brewers do a really, really good job developing arms over there. So I do see upside in him long term. Not a spot really tonight where I'm going to go in on it, but I wouldn't fault anyone. Just the nature of the slate. So for me, down below, AK, it's Tyon is kind of the guy, the main one. Erod, I think, is in play there. I also do like the Pirates bats against them. Bubba Chandler, same reason in the exact same game there. I do think he is a bet on talent long term. Probably not the right slate to do it, but in terms of K props, you look at his K prop, 4.5, slight juice to. It's juice to the under. Pretty heavily there just because of those lefties, but he's 7,200. So that's why, like I said, I mean, if you're not playing Tyon or Erod, I think just dropping all the way down to Fetty Wap, I think makes some sense there. 6,200. I get it. It's the Angels. It's a good place to hit. Angels offense is going to be pretty popular on the slate just due to the nature of the hitting slate, but 6,200. I mean, he does have, like I said, just the way this slate sets up. I mean, if he can grind us 12 to 15, I think he can be very serviceable at that price point there. And I don't expect clean outings for much of anyone on the slate. So yeah, ideally, long story short, you're going to want 2 of these arms up top between Ohtani, DeGrom, Williams, Kirby, Webb. If you wanted to throw an Elder in there, you could. Props line are pretty good. It's not something I would do, but I think you could. And then Tyon, Erod, Fetty are kind of the main guys. Chandler would be, I'm going to keep him in the pool in MME. Don't expect to have too much of him, but really I'm looking at kind of these 8 pitchers in terms of my pitcher pool on DraftKings because I'm playing a pretty decent amount of lineups tonight, playing 2 main teams and then kind of focusing on MME. So I'll have exposure to probably all 8 of these guys. Any closing takes for pitching here?
No, I mean, it's ugly. Pitching's definitely ugly. That's for sure. And yeah, that St. Louis, Milwaukee, I was looking after we were talking a little bit there. That one's looking uglier by the minute too. It's not looking good. I mean, it's cold. It's going to be rainy. Even if that game does play, it's some shitty conditions. And I wouldn't trust the pitching at all from what I'm seeing. But yeah, even the bats in that one, no thanks. Just because of the weather.
not a great game too, and they could play a doubleheader tomorrow. And these two teams, obviously in the division, they see each other a ton, so they can easily make that game up if it gets postponed tonight. Which there's a pretty good chance there. So yeah, not too interested in that in taking a stab on any pitchers in that game there. Let's jump over. Let me refresh our stone over here at shipitnation.com. We're going to talk over and jump to hitting on this slate. We go from one pretty gross pitching slate to an offensive slate that kind of is clear as mud. First game on the slate, we got good hitting weather here in Yankee Stadium in above average park, right? However, the wind is not going to help those lefties, right? Down the line, it's kind of coming in from right field, kind of blowing across the field out to left at pretty good wide margin. I'm seeing like 15 plus, 17, 20 miles an hour in some places here. So not going to play as favorable to those lefties, which could help DeGrom there. Obviously, all of that lefty power, right? Grisham, even Judge, majority of his home runs are to right center field and down that right field in that short porch there in Yankee Stadium. I think the Yankees are in play every day, no matter who they're going up against. I get it. It's Jacob DeGrom. I do side more on Jacob DeGrom. You alluded to, right? Pitchers getting up for teams like the Yankees, like the Dodgers. DeGrom has pitched really, really well in his career against the Yankees. I don't take that as Bible, but I do like to just glance at it. He's got a 34% K rate against this Yankees lineup. Opponent batting average of 179. So he has done really well. Yankees are hot right now, though. Judge, Dominguez, I think is fine. I'm more on the pitching, though. I do like the Rangers, though, in this game. Elmer Rodriguez looked terrible. He's another arm. I do think he's going to be pretty solid long-term. Struggled in his major league debut last week. This is a spot where Rangers are going to get played a little bit, but that's kind of how the whole slate is. I think Evan Carter, Seager, Josh Young, who looked super, super good and big time improved from last year. If you wanted to play Jock Pederson out there, I know Hamwich is going to core him up and probably lock him into all of his teams. That's his favorite player. I think the lefties, though, at the top and Josh Young, it's probably more of a mini stack just because that Yankees bullpen is good. And I do think Elmer is going to have some talent long term. But what do you see here? My side, it actually leans slightly more to the Rangers side in terms of offense in this one. What do you see?
Yeah, I definitely agree with you there. I'm not really interested in playing the Yankees against DeGrom. No thanks. That Texas bullpen's pretty good too. So double negative there. But, you mentioned Texas, especially the lefties I think are interesting. I was digging into Elmer's past. He looks like more of a ground ball type pitcher, like an average type strikeout pitcher, ground ball arm. But the dude can't get the ball over the plate. His walk rates are really high. He's been walking all kinds of guys here, and I think he's only seen 20 guys so far this year, 11 lefties and righties, or 9 righties. So it's not like he's got a ton of plate appearances, but he just hasn't been very, very good. I just maybe the nerves get to him, coming up. But he's going to see a ton of lefties with some power. So Seager I think is interesting. Pederson, I always laugh. He's like the cheap guy you hope, he even gets two or three at bats, most of the time. But either way, there's definitely some power to be had there. So, I don't mind it at all. We definitely like the lefties in Yankee Stadium. So, that's something to be said too. So, I think they're interesting. I don't have them high up on my list. I wouldn't call them my top 3, but I definitely think they're in play. I agree with you. More of a mini probably, especially on DK.
Yeah, just because I don't really like Jock Jams. That dude, he probably gets 2 at-bats, right? I don't know what the bullpen usage right now looks for for the Yankees in terms of lefties available there, but I do think there's definitely, you're looking at probably 2 at-bats for Jock Pederson there. 2,500, could he do it? Yeah. But it's more Carter, Seager, Josh Young, those top 3 at the top for me. And then if you wanted to take a flyer on Alejandro Ozuna, 2,200, he's probably going to strike out 3 times, but there's a chance that he could get you, 10 to 14 DraftKings points, depending on what he does there. Could potentially hit a home run. So at 2,200, I don't think it's crazy. But ideally, you're looking at Carter, Seager, Josh Young up at the top for me. That's why it's more mini stacks. don't really want to mess with the Yankees, but I will have exposure to the Yankees because I do have exposure to them every time they're on the slate, just because they have that kind of upside. And I mean, if Jacob deGrom doesn't go deep into this game and sits at his 5.5 or 5 2/3, something like that, you're still looking at some bullpen work there from Texas, which is 13th worst right now in baseball in terms of xFIP, 4.31. So there is some late game upside there from the Yankees if you wanted to do it, and they're going to be unowned on a slate like this. Next game, out to Wrigley here. Andrew Abbott, fly ball guy. Jameson Taillon, more of a fly ball lean. Taillon has been pretty good this year. The Reds have not been good against right-handed pitching. Yeah, Friedel, Blade, Ellie De La Cruz, Nate Lowe. Those 4 lefties would be the guys you'd want to play if you wanted to play any Reds. You do get some leverage there. So if you're going to like Eduardo or an Erod, right, in your roster construction for $200 less than Jameson Taillon, I don't think it's the craziest play to throw in an Ellie De La Cruz, JJ Blade, Friedel, Nate Lowe, something like that, as a little leverage there against Taillon as kind of the chalky, cheap guy that people are going to go to. I don't think that's the craziest play, but if I'm picking a side in this one, it's definitely the Cubs. I know the weather sucks, but we've seen this Cubs offense smash in Wrigley all the time. I think they won what? Did they end up winning last night? I forgot I didn't look too much because I was obviously underweight.
4-3, I think, maybe.
Yeah. So what is that? 12 or 13 straight now at home. So Cubs as a stack, I think, are interesting.
5-4. I knew they won by a run.
Yeah. I mean, Cubs, I think, as a stack are interesting just because Abbott is a fly ball guy. I know the weather's not great. It's 50 degrees in Wrigley with wind blowing in. But again, everyone talks about the wind, and because it is so effective in Wrigley, I mean, you're looking at like 5-mile-an-hour winds. So it's nothing crazy. Could the Cubs do it? Yeah, I think so. So the Cubs fit into kind of a low-owned full stack when they've been chalked the last 2 days. Kind of a jump back on the wagon here against a pitcher who you can get, and that Reds bullpen is not good behind them. So, but again, both of these teams really don't fit my list for kind of top targets on the slate. I do think they're in play, though. What do you see here?
Yeah, I'd rather use the Cubs. I mean, the Cubs been hitting really well. I mean, they're up there. They're, like I said earlier, they're second in OPS in all of baseball when we were talking a little bit earlier. So, I mean, the Cubs against Abbott, I mean, he's been fly ball pitcher. He's not been striking out any righties. I mean, he's been at 13.5%. His walk rate's pretty high to righties. I mean, they're almost on equal level. So that's not good for him either. I mean, Horner, Bregman. I mean, Bregman got moved up in the lineup there. Suzuki, I think, is interesting. Swanson got moved up in the lineup. You got Shaw. So, I mean, I think these guys are interesting. I think, like you said, I mean, the weather just kind of keeps me off them. You know, like if we had like the weather we've had over the weekend where the wind was blowing out at severe, you know, mile an hour, like 15, 20 miles an hour, you know, it seemed like, you know, those were better plays. And, you know, Nate, I actually said to a buddy, like, I think that if I was to ever say something that, you know, gets more over prioritized than anything in DFS, it's the win game in Wrigley. You know, like, oh shit, the wind's blowing out. Shit, the over under went up to 11. And then it just seems I don't know what, I don't know the stats, but in my mind, it just seems like it's usually it's like a dud. It just never turns into a softball game. It just seems to get beat by something else all the time. And all these people get dragged to it. And I fall sucker to it too. Don't get me wrong. But it just seems like that's the case. But yeah, I'd rather have some Cubbies than some Reds. I mean, the Reds been hitting really well too here in recent times. But yeah, I think the Cubs for me are a team that I mean, if I was going to say a low-owned stack today, I think that would be the one that I'd probably go after.
Yeah, I think the Cubs are interesting. Swanson's been hitting well right now. Carson Kelly obviously always masters lefties. Sia Suzuki's red hot and historical lefty masher. I don't really like Bregman. I think Bregman's kind of washed, but he does hit lefties well. Nico Horner has some stolen base upside as well. So I do think the Cubs are definitely interesting, and I'll definitely be on them more than I was the last 2 days. I've been under. I'm with you there in the win game. You do feel fall for it, but everyone just sees the total, and totals are what kind of everyone flocks to. I look at matchups more and kind of pitching matchups and bullpens and that more than I care about a total. I mean, Vegas and that's throwing totals out there to make money long term, right? And it's not obviously telltale sign. It's a good kind of lens, right? And kind of a direction steer. But then I look into matchups, I look into pitcher matchups and that. So I take that more into account than some damn wind and people saying that every ball that hits the bat is going to be a home run because there's wind blowing out in the stadium, right? So that's kind of
right around the corner from Wrigley. I was at the live finals for baseball at DraftKings a couple years ago. Right around the corner is the DraftKings Sportsbook, right like next to Wrigley Field. And you know your ass is out there and your wind's blowing your hat. You're like, shit, we got to bet the over. So
I can see it's crazy.
My friends like, dude, we got to bet the over. Look how the wind's blowing. Like,
it's always, it fails more than it helps, but it's hard when, like yesterday, a slate like yesterday, right, where the price tags and the spend up arms, right, it just kind of, it naturally fell together. Obviously, when it feels too easy, it's usually never the right thing to do. That's why I had a profitable slate, because I was way under on that game in general. But I think we talked about that game enough. Not one of the better spots on the slate for offense wise, but I do think the Cubs are pretty interesting in tournaments. And then, like I said, roster construction wise, if you're going with a different spend up or spend down pitcher, especially like an Erod or like a Fetty down there, instead of flipping the whole build, you can still you could use some of those Reds bats as some kind of leverage there off of Tyon. Next spot on the slate, Kauffman Stadium. Stephen Kolek back in our lives, making his first start for the Royals. Gavin Williams my overall favorite pitcher on the slate. I just think I know it's not the best strikeout matchup, and he does struggle with some walk issues at times. But I just think with the weather there, wind blown in Kauffman Stadium, it's not great hitting weather. I do think Gavin Williams is a great play here. Wouldn't fault anyone for going to some Royals, but I'm not really going to get to the Royals. If I played a side in this one, it'd be more the Guardians. Guardians aren't going to hit a bunch of home runs and that. They just don't do that anyway. So it's probably going to take a lot of singles and doubles and kind of stolen bases, things like that. But Kolek just doesn't strike anybody out. So there's going to be balls in play. The Royals bullpen's not good behind him. Guardians do have their good lineup in here. Travis Bazzana's been great since he's been out. He's going to be really, really good. 3,400 still too cheap for him and his ceiling potential there. They do have their main lineup in here. So I do like it. Chase DeLauder is back in there. J Ram's back in there. Schieneman's been good. Bazzana. I do think the Guardians are pretty interesting here tonight. They're going to be unowned, and I like them a lot. Probably more than I should, but that's just kind of the slate it is. And I'm going to take a chance on a Cleveland offense here against a pitcher who I don't think is good at all in Stephen Kolek.
Yeah, I don't think Kolek's very good either. I'm just concerned about the weather. I think Jose Ramirez, you can play that guy just about any day. But, I'd leave the Indians in my pool. I just wouldn't I don't have them highly too ranked. As far as the Royals go with Gavin Williams, Williams been giving up some fly balls to lefties. His barrel rate is up at 13% to lefties. And Vinny P's been hitting the shit out of the baseball here in recent times. So, if you don't really like Gavin Williams and maybe you want to throw in a one-off, maybe like Vinny P, I think would be maybe get you some decent leverage off him. I wouldn't probably go much further than that. But, Bobby Witt's been hitting two recent times too. I think it took him like a month to hit his first homer. I think he's got a few more here in recent times. But Vinny P, for me, it would be an elite type one-off play, especially with Gavin Williams garnering some ownership here tonight. But yeah, the hitting conditions are shitty over there. So, it's a tough one. It's just tough. I think there's way better spots that we can attack today than looking at this one.
Yeah. I'll throw in Carter Jensen and Jack Caglianone into there. Caglianone's been, he's starting to hit, had a bomb last night. The dude's just a physical specimen. 3,300 still cheap for him. Carter Jensen at 4K. And Vinny P. So that 3, 5, 6, I think, is a pretty interesting mini stack there in a roster where you're not playing Gavin Williams and you pivot to like a Logan Webb in his same range there. So from a roster construction standpoint there, that's kind of how I like to play baseball. If I'm not playing a pitcher where I know a lot of the field's going to have that does have strikeout ability in Gavin Williams, if in teams where I'm not playing him, and like I said, I know the field is, I don't mind going with a kind of a mini stack as kind of a double leverage situation, right? You're not on the popular pitcher that everyone's on, which means not many people are on the Royals. So then you kind of do it that way, right? And then it helps the other pitchers in Gavin Williams' range outscore him. So that's kind of how I like to approach that. So Vinny P, Carter Jensen, Caglianone, I think are interesting, but there is a lot of lefties. The Royals threw a bunch of lefties at Gavin Williams here. And then two of the better right-handed hitters, or three of them. Obviously, Bobby Witt's a stud, but Garcia's been good. He's a contact-heavy bat, and then Sal Perez obviously is a crafty vet. Always finds his way around, and he's a professional hitter, as they say there. Next game is the biggest weather issues here. Kevin Roth had it tagged as orange before the show here. I'm not sure what the update is. He has it as orange red now, so it looks like it's getting worse. I'm gonna kind of approach this slate like this game doesn't exist. If you wanted to go in on it, I would say full stacks or nothing. No one-offs, no mini stacks, nothing. If I'm going in on it, if I'm playing it as a whole. I would prefer the Brewers side, even against Palante as a ground ball guy. I just think Palante sucks. Nobody's going to play this game. So, like I said, I might just because out of my fandom have one full Brewer stack. But again, you're going to have to monitor the weather. We should know with this game starting at 6:45 Lord's time zone. Churios looked great yesterday. Terang's been a beast. They're expensive, but that Cardinals bullpen's ass. Palante is not good. But I do think this game does get probably waxed from the slate there. So definitely monitor if you're going in, and that's why I said it'd be full stacks or bust for me, if anything here. What do you see?
Yeah, I agree. I think it's going to get PPD, like you said, especially them division games, man. They don't even care because they see them so much. Like if that was like, team traveling across the country, they might be willing to wait it out a little bit, but there ain't no reason for that to happen today. So they'll probably PPD it.
Yeah, assuming this game assuming it doesn't play. So definitely keep an eye out there. Takes us to one of the better offensive spots, if not the best offensive spot on the slate. However, Peter Lambert's been big time improved from last year. I mean, he looks like a pretty quality arm. I don't know if I fully buy it. He's going to be tested here. Dodgers, obviously, great offense. The Astros bullpen behind Lambert, if Lambert goes out and throws 5 innings, right, you still got 4 innings of the worst bullpen in baseball behind him against the best offense, right? Dalton Rushing, certified stud. He's been mashing baseballs. Freddie Freeman, Kyle Tucker. Obviously, you can't play Ohtani, but that does help the overall stack. Dodgers got to be amongst the top of the board. Full 9 at-bats here. Indoors in Houston when most of the places suck outside for hitting. You got to have interest in the Dodgers, and you're not even seeing crazy ownership because of their price points on a slate where offense is pretty weak and everybody wants to play the same spot. I think the Dodgers are super interesting here. I'm going to be heavily exposed to the Dodger side of things. Freeland had a game yesterday. He's still 2,500. Ha-Seong Kim always has stolen base upside too down there, 2,700 at shortstop. If you're not playing a guy like Bobby Witt or spending up for like guys like Colson Montgomery, Zach Neto, I think he makes some sense, kind of flipping the position, flipping the build there. But I said a bunch to say I love the Dodgers here. Everyone's going to like the Dodgers, but I do think this is probably on paper the best spot or the best overall upside stack on the slate, which isn't shocking to anyone. But Dodgers are starting to hit, and I want to be on this team every time they're on the slate. And once they start getting hot here, Gyiraszin, it's a wagon you want to ride in, right? Especially in the DFS for your old checkbook there to make that thing even fatter, right? With some Benjamins. So what do you see here? Dodgers, Astros.
What I see is Lambert's about to give up his first home run of the year. He hasn't given up one yet so far in 3 games, but that's going to change. I wouldn't doubt if Dalton Rushing don't hit one off his ass in the first at bat. So, but I mean, Lambert, this dude was in Japan. He wasn't even really striking out that many guys. He was at like a 17-18% strikeout rate before he went over there. So, I'm not buying his success he's having against lefties at this point. 36% K rate. He's not, that should drop in half, man. So there's some regression coming. He's also got an 11% walk rate to lefties, which I definitely don't. You want to be walking these Dodgers, man. That ain't going to get you nowhere. That is for sure. So, he's definitely due to get beat up. You mentioned that bullpen behind him. is just absolutely trash. It got used quite a bit yesterday too. They used at least 4 or 5 relievers, 6 relievers, I believe, yesterday. So, the Dodgers definitely are standing up at the top. Dalton Rushing, sitting up there in that one hole. I mean, anytime I like guys that are moving up in the lineup, on certain days, anytime a guy's getting moved up, I definitely like that situation, but no interest in the Dodgers for me or Astros for me against Ohtani. Dodgers for me definitely stand out as one of my favorite stacks here today. But I mean, how can you not? The Dodgers are just, they're the Dodgers, right? And they're a pretty good spot today. I don't think they'll be as highly owned as they actually should be today. But I mean, Dodgers all day. They're number one for me.
Yeah, I think we're getting a discount on their ownership compared to where it could be on this slate, just because of the way the slate sets up. And you alluded to it, right? Houston went with back-to-back bullpen games the last 2 days, so they're extremely, extremely taxed. I mean, 95 pitches. Obviously, Ryan Weiss is pitched yesterday for the kind of bulk relief, so he's going to be super obviously unavailable. Their other long relief guy unavailable. Kai Wei Tang, 54 pitches in the last 3 days. He's going to be unavailable. So you're going to have guys pitching on short rest with tired arms against the best offense in baseball. I mean, look at the Astros bullpen usage here. If I just go ahead and pull this up here, 95, 59, 54, 40, 38, 32 pitches. And it's already the worst bullpen in baseball. So I say all of that to say, yeah, I'm with you there. Dodgers probably do pick up some steam coming up to lock, but again, I'm going to be over on them. I think it's the best spot in the slate for offense, and I don't think it's that close, to be honest here. Next game on the slate takes me to probably my second favorite spot on the slate. Sam Aldeguerri, lefty, going for the Angels. Nothing special. I don't think he's very good. Fetty, I do think if you wanted to punt pitching and play him at 6,200, I think it's viable. But this game speaks offense for me. Best hitting conditions on the slate. I mean, you got some wind blown out in Anaheim. Angel Stadium plays above average for home run and power. I mean, White Sox, you want the righties to start, but Murakami just continues to hit a home run every single time he's on the slate. Montgomery, one of the best hitters in baseball too, in my opinion. One of the younger kids. I think he's a great play. You got some pinch hit concerns at the back half if these guys make it in here. Guys like Derek Hill, Cuero, depending on who starts between him and Romo. Obviously, Romo's a switch hitter there, so he's fine. But guys like Derek Hill, Cuero, Acuna, I think those guys are definitely pinch hit concerns. But and Randall Grichuk, so it does hurt the stack in general because you could only see 2 at-bats, 3 at-bats at most from 3 or 4 of these guys in the White Sox. But, I mean, Murakami is going to be underowned compared to what he should be or could be on the slate just with the lefty-lefty matchup there. Same thing with Montgomery. Meadjaw's been good. Vargas hit a bomb last night. I love the White Sox here tonight. Angels bullpen not good behind him. Full 9 at-bats there in above-average stadium. And then the Angels, same thing on the other side. Yeah, they're going to strike out a bunch, but they also have a bunch of power. I lean the White Sox side more from a stacking perspective. Angels, though, also in play. White Sox bullpen not good either. What do you see here?
I mean, this is a great game for a game stack, if you ask me. I think both offenses are definitely solidly in play. I mean, the Angels, we love the power they have. I mean, Mike Trout has been – I mean, I'm hoping the Tigers trade for Mike Trout. They were talking about it here in the sports radio here. But, I mean, Fetty, he's definitely a guy you can attack, low strikeout pitcher. He's been walking guys on the left side a little bit more. He's been getting barreled up by the left side as well. But, I mean – there's all kinds of power to be had in this Angel lineup. So definitely want to attack that. Both bullpens in this game are not very good either. So that's something to be had. But, I mean, if you want to look at attacking this Aldeguerri, or I don't even know how the hell to say it. It's close enough. But, I mean, he's not been good at all. He's been having major control issues. I mean, this Murakami, what a deal the White Sox guy with this guy. I mean, this guy's looking like he's Shohei Ohtani's twin brother or something, just smacking the shit out of the baseball. So definitely think he's in play. I mean, shit, dude, like you said, been hitting a home run, seems like every damn slate. But I think both teams are definitely in play. I think you can stack either team, really. I mean, Vargas is in a good spot here. I think either team is in a good spot. So the top of that lineup, Montgomery, Vargas, Murakami, all decent spots. Grichuk has always hit lefties well, so I don't mind that as a cheap bet. Probably have a little pinch hit risk, but as you mentioned. But I mean, I think I got the Angels ranked a little bit higher, especially on FanDuel than I do than the White Sox. But I think both lineups are in play. I'd have them in both of my top of my rankings as far as stacks go today.
Yeah, I'm with you there. Actually, looking at it too, I do put I slide the Angels, especially with the lower ownership, ahead. And when you add in the pinch hit concerns for the White Sox, like I said, I mean, Grichuk's coming out as soon as a righty comes in. Derek Hill, probably the same thing, and then probably Acuna too. So those three are kind of the main pinch hit guys there. Edgar Quero, probably the fourth guy, like I said. So yeah. Two of the better offenses on the slate. It's probably the Dodgers, the Angels, White Sox is kind of how I rank it so far, at least until we get to the game in Arizona. I do like offenses in that game as well. So, yeah, I'm with you there. You look at the White Sox bullpen, worse than the Angels bullpen this far. So, give me the lean to the Angel side of it over the White Sox side, but both great spots. Next game on the slate, George Kirby, Bryce Elder. Kirby, not a crazy good pitcher, but does pitch well in home. He obviously holds on to that for half of his starts or majority of his starts, right? Still pitching here. Bryce Elder, quality arm, has looked improved this year, but still is not great against lefties. And he's going to probably see seven lefties tonight at least. I mean, Mariners aren't a crazy hard matchup, but from the left side, they do have good left-handed hitters. Luke Riley, Canzone, Josh Naylor. I mean, Cal Raleigh. Crawford's been good and never strikes out really. And then you have J-Rod and Randy Arozarena, two of the better right-handed hitters, potential or talent-wise, right? So that's kind of why 8,500 I think is a pretty steep price for Bryce Elder. So I think the Mariners are interesting, but more so kind of power hunting one-offs. I mean, Cal Raleigh you can always play, but Canzone, I like Canzone anytime he's up against a righty. Same thing with Luke Raley. But it's more mini stacks here. Braves bullpen is good, so I don't love it. Elder, I think, is still a serviceable quality arm, can navigate his way through it. The Braves have been murdering baseball, so if you wanted to, I mean, again, it'd be more mini stacks. Drake Baldwin, Harris, Olsen, Albies. I'd live kind of in those top four. They've been really, really good. And I think that 4 in like a 4-3-1 build, I think is going to be unowned and has upside. So I won't fault anyone for going to that top 4 of the Braves. But what do you see here?
Yeah, I mean, it's just better to play the Braves on a different day than, we don't like the park, Seattle. I mean, Kirby's been good at home. I mean, the only problem with Kirby is he just don't get enough strikeouts. He's still a dog. Like, that dude still gets out. So that is definitely something. But, I mean, Atlanta leads all OPS and all of baseball. We're sitting at a game total of 7.5. I mean, there's reason for that. So I'm just not interested. I'll wait another day to load up on some Braves. But, I mean, Ozzie Albies, like I mentioned, that dude's just on another world right now. He's been incredible the last few days. Matt Olson hasn't been bad himself either. But, yeah, I think it's just a better day for the Braves. It's just not today.
Yeah, I mean, they do. Kirby's out prop sitting at 17.5 with minus 186 juice to the over. So that just tells you right there. Elder, same thing, over 17.5 juice to the over. So, yeah, but I do think that top 4 for the Braves, I'm definitely going to have at least one stack somewhere in my contest of that top 4, just because Harris has been really good. Baldwin's been murdering. Matt Olson's obviously one of the best left-handed hitters in baseball, and then Albies is on a tear right now. And second base is a weak position, especially if we lose an upside bat with postponement like Bryce Terang there where you could play, which I definitely have interest there against Palante, but I don't think that game plays. So Albies at 4-3 makes some sense there. Next game on the slate, Arizona. Roof's going to be closed, I believe. I would assume. I didn't look that up, but I would assume it's going to be closed here. Bubba Chandler on the mound. Can't get any lefties out. Does have talent, like I talked about when we broke down pitching. Think you could play him. He's going to be unowned and on a pitching slate where everyone wants to play Tyon if they're going below the top kind of 5 arms. Chandler could find his way into an optimal build or at least be good enough. I do think the lefties are really good here for the Diamondbacks, though. Perdomo, Marte, Carroll, Vargas has been really, really good. And then I always talk about Alek Thomas. Nobody plays him. He always hits anywhere from 7th to 9th. Against a righty, he's always in play for me. Always has a ton of power. He's super cheap. So I like the D-backs wraparound stack in this one. And then Pirates are also interesting here. I think people are going to play Erod a little bit. When they're looking for a pivot off of Taillon, it just feels easy to play Eduardo Rodriguez against the Pirates offense. And I do think he has strikeout ability here, but I think the Pirates are fairly interesting as well here. I lean more offense in this one than pitching, but what do you see here?
Yeah, I mean, we could start with the Pirates against Erod. I was just looking. I mean, it looks like they might roll out, possibly 8 righties against them here. I mean, that's interesting. So, I mean, if they're going to roll out 8 righties against Erod, I might bump Erod down a little bit in my ranking as far as pitching goes. I'd rather see Erod against some lefties, but I just don't like
one second. The roof is going to be open today and tomorrow, so that does help offense here. In Chase Field with the roof being open. So yeah, I'm probably off both these pitchers, to be honest. We're kind of starved for offense outside of that Anaheim game, right? The Angels, White Sox, and Dodgers. So these two definitely are on my list for interest, at least wise. The roof doesn't make a huge difference, but it does help in general.
Yeah, I mean, I think Arizona, as you mentioned too, is in a really good spot against Bubba. Bubba has all kinds of control issues. I mean, it's not been good at all. He's been giving up fly balls as well. He's been getting barreled up by lefties, not so much righties, but lefties really been getting to him. As you mentioned, he's been getting hit hard by lefties. I mean, and then you look across at the lineup, he's going to be facing with Perdomo, Marte, Carroll, Castillo, Vargas, Lee Thomas down there at the bottom. I mean, he's going to have his a tough task today. So I definitely like Arizona. I'd rank them up there as with the White Sox and Angel game. I mean, I put all 3 of them kind of in the same bucket there. But I mean, for me, the D-backs have just been good too. I mean, I like to play the D-backs. I mean, they're top 10 in OPS in the baseball. I mean, especially against a righty who's going to be struggling and can't get the ball over the plate. I mean, you look at some of these walk rates are fairly low for the bottom half of the lineup, but the top half of the lineup is fairly patient. But overall, as a whole, Arizona's not going to strike out. So his BABIP's going to be in play today. And I think he's going to run into some issues, especially if he starts walking some guys. It could get sour really quick. So Arizona for me is definitely one of my top stacks.
Yeah, I'm with you, and I see no reason around it. I really like that wraparound. The 9, 1, 2, 3, 5 stack, I think is really interesting, right? Depending on what they said, at least projected wise, Perdomo, Marte, Carroll, Vargas, Alek Thomas, I think are really interesting. Last game on the slate out in San Fran, Logan Webb, Walker Buehler on the mound. I do think this game is kind of interesting on the Giants side for offense as kind of mini stacks. You do have stolen base potential here and upside baked in. Walker Buehler, not great at holding runners on. Campusano's not a good catcher to catch guys stealing. So with that added, I do think it's interesting, and I just don't think Walker Buehler is very good anyways. I know the park sucks, but compared to the slate at hand, right, where weather kind of sucks really outside of maybe 1 or 2 spots, I think Giants are decent here on a slate where, like I said, offense isn't crazy. So I won't be shocked to see the Giants do some damage here. I know the Padres bullpen's really good, but as I'm not going to 5-man stack this team, probably not even 4, but 2 and 3-mans or even one-offs, I do think are fairly interesting here. But what do you see to round us out?
Yeah, I mean, I just don't like the park. I mean, it's just hard to play games out there in San Francisco, even San Diego for that matter. But I mean, anywhere out there, especially you're sitting at a game total sitting at 7.5. I mean, Walker Buehler does suck, but as you mentioned, that bullpen rate behind him is pretty good. I don't love it. I think there's way other spots you could use. I mean, maybe pluck some one-offs or whatever. But I mean, generally, anytime you got 5-6 games that are 8 or higher, and you got some 7.5 games, it's gonna be rare. It's gonna be rare. We're gonna want to be focused on situations like that. So that would just fall into this one. But overall, Nays, I think it's kind of an ugly slate. But hey, it's Cinco de Mayo. We can have us some burritos, some tacos, some botanas. We can have all kinds of good stuff here. Fill up the belly in a big fat margarita. But yeah, big 100K takedown over there. 222 tournament, 100K to first over there on FanDuel. That would be sure nice to be in my account in the morning.
Yeah, hopefully it's in your account or another Shipping Nation subscriber over there if they're playing on FanDuel there. I don't get over on FanDuel, so I'll be on DraftKings, but I'll settle for the top prizes over on DraftKings too. I will say Luis Arraez is probably my favorite overall Giant bat. Just dude never strikes out. He's going to put the ball in play, good chance to be on base, and he leads the team in stolen bases. So at a weak second base position, 3,600, I think he's definitely in play, and I think he's pretty interesting there. Gyiraszin takes us to the end of the show. Your favorite pitching combination, your top 3 stacks. Make sure to include kind of a sneaky low owned stack in one of them, and then home run call for the people.
All right, I think I'm going to pitching. I just probably jam up the top 5, like I said. Ohtani. I'd probably go Logan Webb. Actually, Logan Webb or maybe Gavin Williams. I think I prefer Webb. I think I got them all like so close there. It's kind of a toss-up. And then as far as stacks go, Dodgers my favorite. And then I'd put the Angels and White Sox all there in a bunch there. And then if you ask me, like a low-owned stack, I think would be the Cubbies against Abbott. I think that would be an interesting one. And then a home run call. I think Dalton Rushing is going to end Mr. Lambert's no home run streak if he's batting leadoff in the first at bat of the game. So give me Dalton Rushing because we know Ohtani ain't going to be batting because, they don't fucking let him hit. It's just stupid. But Dalton Rushing for me, Nades, right over the fence first at bat.
All right, I like that. I was going to go Dalton Rushing too, so make that 2 for 1 there. I'll give another one too, but for me, my favorite pitching combination is going to be I like Gavin Williams a ton. Ohtani's obviously a great play there, but I'll go Gavin Williams, Logan Webb. I like those two. I do think Logan Webb pitching in that ballpark at home, the leash is going to be there. I'm not too afraid of that Padres offense, in general. We just saw Ronald McDonald get it done last night for me when I got laughed at for that play at 4K. But I'm going right back to the Wild, Logan Webb here. I know he's not been great, but again, Padres offense is great on paper. They just strike out a ton, especially on the road. They've not been great. So I'll go there. I'm going Dodgers, Angels, and then D-backs is kind of my top 3. But for a sneakier stack in general, I know you already gave the Cubs, so I'll let you have that. But I'm going to go Guardians. I think the Guardians are really interesting here. Really sneaky. I don't think many people, if anyone's going to really play them. Chase DeLauder has been great. J-Ram's been really good. Schienemann, Bazana is going to be good. Angel Martinez has power. Bo Naylor. You got cheap guys throughout that lineup to make it work with the spin-up pitching. So I do like the Guardians quite a bit. With their salaries and their price points, not a sexy offense, not a sexy stack, but we do play a salary-based game, and it kind of unlocks the rest of the roster for me. So I do like that. My home run call, I'm going to go to the Cubs. I'm going to go to your favorite sneaky stack on the slate. I'm going to go to Seiya Suzuki, 4,900. I know the weather sucks there. No, it's not great. Abbott's a fly ball guy. Suzuki murders lefties. He's going to be 10% owned, sub 10% owned when he's been 40% owned the last 2 days. So right back to the Cubs. Give me Seiya Suzuki to hit one out over the Ivy in Wrigley. Gyiraszin, appreciate the breakdown. I think we had a great show. Happy Cinco de Mayo to everyone out there. Have some margaritas, have some Mexican food, have some burritos, have some tacos, have some queso and some bean dip, and you name it. Obviously, fantastic there. I'm going to be heading there with the girl after the lineups are locked in. Good luck tonight in those contests for Gyiraszin. I'm Nades. We'll see you guys next time. We're out of here. Peace.